Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Anthony Eugenia of the CDC, and it's my pleasure to be joined this afternoon by the newest PDC Tour Card member from North America, Mr. Danny Baggish. Welcome, Danny.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Really happy to talk with you. A couple of things to go over today. You know, it's been a while since we caught up with you. Last time we chatted, it was after the World Championship, that amazing run. Obviously, since, you've gone to Q school, made, a great big splash. You had, a really great week this past week talking to, it seemed almost everybody, everybody's Facebook feed was filled with interviews of Danny Baggish, which was wonderful. I took them all in. And that's why we thought maybe we'd sit this week and talk with you, let you get a chance to digest all of that in. Plus have the experience of this past weekend, which was, technically your first experience as a professional darter. But let's go back just for a minute to go back to Q school and tell me the moment I want to talk about is tell me that moment when you realized, that, oh shoot moment. Oh shoot, I just became a professional dart player, but then, oh shoot, I just became a professional, and what that means. Like, I'm not going home yet.
Yeah, the moment was right after Scott beat me in the finals of 6-2. I actually thought I didn't get in, and so I was kind of upset. Shook his hand, gave the scorekeeper dap, and turned around, and my managers are back there with a smile on their face, and Dan Dawson kind of just looked at me and kind of smiled and winked as well. And at that moment, I knew, and it just hit me all at once. I always talk about how dreams are coming true for me, and being a professional dart player, just another dream that came true. So we're checking these off the list. It's an honor. It's humbling, and I can't wait to represent the United States of America and North America itself the next 2 years at least.
You really have captured the imagination, not only of this country and this continent, but overseas. It's really apparent that there's a burgeoning Danny Baggish fan club in Europe. What do you attribute that to? Not only, little here and also now as it expands worldwide.
To be honest, I just think it's how I've always been raised and how I treat people, whether I'm playing darts or just in life in general. I'm always going to be the same person. I'm always going to take the time to show everyone respect and respond, and no matter how long it takes me, because I would want the same back to me. So I think it really banks on that, and everyone's appreciative of it. Everyone over here in the world, whether it's Germany, UK, Belgium, it's just been unbelievable. And of course, I have everyone back in the States, and I just treat everyone with respect, and they do the same back.
Yeah, I mean, we know the fan club in the States, and I say that respectfully and playfully. Every time you're in a CDC event, we talk. I'm like, the whole feed is filled with, when is Baggish playing or this, that, and the other. So we know going over to Europe that was established. I think I'll propose and get a food for thought. I think it's that Adrian Lewis match, the gravity of the match, who your opponent is, where the spot was in the World Championship. But just as important, I think, was the emotional family story. It was set up going into that about what, was going on in life. And, you overcame that, and that wonderful reaction. And I hope that comes across correctly. That emotion of, I interpret it as, you might have even been closing your eyes and saying to your brother, we did this. And I think people respond to that.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think a lot of people warm up to that as well. Just to know, I think they all know that it's just raw emotion. It comes from deep within myself, and it's not fake. It's nothing like that. And everyone knows how big I am on family. So that Adrian Lewis match kind of was huge for me. Me knowing what I was going through, and me letting it all out was just that of giving the kiss to the heavens, even though he was still okay at that time. But just everyone, my mom, my dad, everything. So I think when people see that, they warm up to it and become a fan.
They definitely respond to that. I mean, that's the, famously, people talk about the Olympics. You go into the Olympics, and it's part of what makes compelling television. It's what you want to root for people is when you learn their backstory, their trials, their tribulations, all the work it took for them to get into that moment makes a spectator and a fan appreciate that all the more. And you can share that through a television screen with a competitor about, where they are in their moment. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So let's stay on there for a second. Just, let's go to the place that allows us to do great things. That gives us a foundation is our family. So let us know how your brother's doing.
Yeah, he's doing a lot better. He's been cleared to go back to work, and everything's on the up and up with him. So
that's wonderful news, and we all cheer at that, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really know what's going on with me because I keep my life off of social media itself. And to be honest, you guys are going to be the first ones to hear this. My youngest son, Grayson, which is 2.
Yeah.
He had a little bump on his leg, and so we got to watch that. Lindsay's youngest son, Colton, had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. So, yeah, it's just another obstacle.
Absolutely. We'll say a prayer, and it's not what any parent wants to even allow to get into their brain. But it's your prerogative to keep your family close. It's everybody's prerogative, because I mean, that's the one safe place that we all have in the world, so it's up to you to allow how much you let out. We've seen a little bit, you talk about getting to FaceTime with the little man, occasionally we'll see that. And I know that's got to be really tough, being so far away from them. But as you said, modern technology at least allows you to pick up the phone and see his face, hear his giggles in real time.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have never went to Q school, to be honest with you, because I don't know what I would have done without being able to talk to him and seeing him 2-3 times a day. So, knowing that we have this technology and I'm able to talk to all of the kids and so forth, it's just very comforting.
So last thing on the family, I wonder, how is your immediate and surrounding family taking it that they can now say my brother or my cousin, my nephew is a professional dart player? Has there been any chatter about that?
Yeah, still to this day, even though we're 2-3 weeks in, it's phone calls, it's messages, it's FaceTime of whether it's my sister or friend or whoever it is saying, "Hey, it's Danny Baggish on the phone. He's in England. He's a professional dart player." And
that's wonderful.
It's still, to me, it's still very fresh, and I don't think of myself as a huge celebrity, and it's coming out that everyone's thinking that of me, and they're kind of living their dream through me. So it's humbling.
Well, they're the ones that are going to keep you rounded, and this ride is only just beginning. So 3 weeks is nothing. I mean, you are just getting underway, and I know you've talked about it. You have plans to do this for quite a while. And those were tidbits that I heard through interviews in the past week. What a wonderful week. Like I said, Danny Baggish was everywhere. And the highlight of that, you spoke about how nervous you were going into it. For an American player, I mean, coverage in the New York Times, what a great moment.
Yeah, that's to me, that's, obviously top 2 on my list to be interviewed by, third being you guys, of course.
I was hoping we were going to make the top 10, maybe 12.
Other than that, you got ESPN out there and stuff like that, but just the New York Times, it's unbelievable. And I was in shock when my manager came in and told me, and what a moment that was.
And that's what I want to jump into now, is the moments and feelings about being a professional dart player. That's what I want to dive deep into this here. I made a couple of notes, and one of them is what you've touched on twice already. Let's talk about the part of being a pro for a lot of players now is have a managing company. So you've signed with, I made a note, where are you? TCL Management, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And, you pick up, as you roll it along, more and more sponsors. So speak to that. How does that change your day-to-day life as a player? What, obviously no, details or private, but what does that do to a player's, life, and how does it make it easier, and what are the pluses of that?
Yeah, it's crazy because, you think back in the States, it's basketball, football, and you need agents and stuff like that. And I come over here, and then I'm a professional dart player.
Yeah,
I got to have an agent and a manager, and they've been great signing with them. And the biggest thing with TCL to me was the discussions were that whether I got my card or not, they were going to back me and be there for me. That really made a huge difference. So they've put me up. I'm staying with my manager himself, and they just take care of everything. And without them, there's no stress whatsoever. I don't have to worry about a thing. So it's huge.
Those are the things that I was expecting to hear. The things that surround playing, that's what they take care of, so you can focus on being a player, playing at your best, and not worrying about, during the year, the connection in Frankfurt to get to a European event, or, all of that sort of stuff. Where am I staying? They line all of that up. And also, in my opinion, what I see is the benefits of having a manager is to sort of, round the edges off, shine things up in terms of, you're a commodity now. You're a player. There's Danny Baggish, the gambler, and Danny Baggish, the person. So now the gambler has to put out a certain persona in, the way you look, the way you sound, what, things like that. And I've seen it in other players where they, had a choice. And I'm leading into something. I'm going to see if I can pull something out of you. We've seen other players who on their own, would choose a walk-on song that would be very personal, very maybe regional, or something that they enjoyed. Soon as they got to a certain level, and you could tell that they have a manager now, there's thought into a different song, what it would do to the crowd and how it plays. So it's regardless of whether they're from your hometown or not. If it's not going to get those people up in their seats when you come through, so those are the things that I see a manager do. So I'm going to see if I can get a scoop out of Danny Baggish. He had a, pretty famous poll that was going on earlier in the week on Twitter. And, he was taking fan suggestions and input, and still to be decided, as far as I know, is what his walk-on song is going to be. Can we get a CDC exclusive, or are we going to hold on to that for Friday?
Well, Friday, my walk-on song is going to be a one-time hit walk-on song. It won't be my permanent one. Okay. So the reason being is because nobody knows this yet, Anthony. So
that's what we wanted. Let's pull out a scoop.
You're going to get this out of me, and this just shows the class and how everyone is over here as a professional dart player. It's almost like family. Everyone is. And I had a conversation. I don't know if you guys know this, but the first year I went to the World Championships, I played Pump It Up. And people changed it because they changed it to Bag It Up.
Okay. And
the crowd was rocking. And I was like, man, I want that to be my walk-on song. So I did. Unfortunately, Mac Elkin and his crew at Glenn Durant chose it as well. And he's the higher seed, so that's
the way it works.
His. So at the PDC series this past weekend, Glenn and I were talking, and he said, by the way, I'm going to give you Pump It Up. It fits your personality. You can have it. I'm changing my walk-on song.
Scoop, folks. There it is.
So he might use it for the UK Open, he said. And if he does, after the UK Open, he said, it is all mine.
Look at that. We got Bag It Up. It's going to be the case. Take that whole Twitter poll and throw it out the window. But we still got it anyway. So we're going to go with you're going to go with something for the UK Open, and then Pump It Up is going to be you moving forward.
Yeah, that's
outstanding.
That's exactly right.
Excellent. All right. Okay. So that's going to be. I mean, you can only imagine the chills that are going to go on in this country as we watch you get a walk on and stuff. So let's see. I got a couple directions to go in, but we just talked about Friday, so let's stay right there. Let's stay in the UK Open. The schedule came out today. First session, second matchup is Danny Baggish. So, I don't want to talk specifics, don't want to be disrespectful, but if, I saw that the first couple of rounds were drawn already. Danny Baggish plays Danny Baggish darts. Danny Baggish can have a pretty good run this weekend in the UK Open. So give me your take overall, and then, what that's going to be on the main stage second match on Friday.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know my first opponent, which is Brett Clayton. I actually just met him because he's part of TCL management.
Okay. I did a little digging on him yesterday myself. Yep. Just became a tour card holder too.
That's correct. Averaged over 100 and lost in the PDC series. He's a phenomenal player. With that said, if I said it all along that I feel like I can score with anyone. And if I hit my doubles like I did at Q School, I look at the brackets as well. Mm-hmm. So I think I will make a run as well if I can just play my game and hit my doubles and so forth. Exactly.
Yeah. It's all first three rounds are out of the bag, to coin a term. We're going to bag it up. So if you want to see that, folks, go to www.pdc.tv and you'll be able to see the draw and Danny's road. So of course he's going to take it one game at a time, but there's I think a big pathway for Danny Baggish to make a huge impact in the UK Open. So don't miss that. You can check out the social media pages of CDC. We'll have that all posted on today and tomorrow, so you can follow Danny. So tell me, I'm very curious. I want to find out how it felt walking in. Was it Thursday, correct? Thursday was the first day of the Super Series, first of 4 days that they just held. That was the first 4 official Players Championship events. So tell me, how did it feel to walk in that door? And what was there anything that, is there a badge they give you? Any sort of credentials that it was just the nod that I'm one of 128, no more, no less. And I'm in the room now. And how did that feel? And what was the atmosphere like?
Well, I would never think, trying to chase this dream, that I could walk into a room of the top players in the world, and even the security people and Graham and whoever else is there, and they all just know me by my first name, and they say, "Hey, Danny, great run. Hey, Danny, good job at Q School. You like leaving it to the last day." No matter who it is, whether it's a top player like Peter Wright and Glenn and Devin Peterson, Joe Cullen, and so forth, they all knew. And
it's fantastic. It
was just incredible. It was comforting. I took a deep breath and I was like, I'm here.
I'm here and I belong here. I belong
exactly.
here is a major thing. I belong here. Yeah, that was sort of at the heart of my question. You said something about, security even, knew your name, waved you. And I thought maybe for a minute you would have, been, stopped somewhere or something and have that great moment to go like, no boys, I belong. Yeah. Get me in the door. I've completely earned this.
Yeah.
So was there anything in the professional atmosphere that you were surprised at? Was there anything that you didn't expect? And I mean positive surprises, perks? Is there you're a professional? Is there somebody to tie your shoe or pick things up for you? How fancy does it get to be a professional dart player?
No. I mean, obviously they do everything. PDC does a great job just to get the events going. But as far as anything else, the management system is where they, hey, you need a drink. Hey, let me get you a drink. You need a soda. Are you hungry? Let me get you something to eat. So no, nothing special. I was really surprised on how much they actually go down I mean, the draw was out at noon, and we didn't play till 2. So that means everyone checked in before that, right? So it was surprising to me that no matter who you are, they were there hours ahead of time, throwing and practicing, throwing and practicing, throwing and practicing.
Sure.
So that was nice to see.
Okay, well, that's good. I got that out of you. But then I truly mean that. It's good to hear it because, you know, I profess that at every level there's something to learn. You know, there's even if it is things like that, is to watch other players and, you know, just take note of, you know, that they're here promptly at, you know, such and such time. And, you know, over time, as you're more exposed to it, you'll really have a sense of, you know, who are the ones who are here early, who are prepped correctly. And you know, and you let that rub off on you and become a better player. So absolutely. So speaking of that, so let's take now a two-faceted question about North America. You know, you're now the trailblazer. You know, just like I talked about, you might walk in the door and you're gonna, you know, glance over at the top 16 ranked players and, you know, just take a note a little bit of what they're doing. You know, now when you come back home and play, you're the guy. You're a professional. You know, so talk to me about what the impact you think it's going to have about Danny Baggish having a tour card. And we must note, people, you know, the first American player to ever have a tour card. There's been a couple of offers out there, but the first player to have one, use one, earn one, Danny Baggish. So huge accomplishment. And then, you know, how do you think that's going to inspire and impact American players and North American players as a whole?
Yeah, I think whether it was me or Leonard or Daniel Lobby, you know, all playing great. I was just lucky enough this time to be the one, and I think they look up to all of us to come over here. And me being the one that gets the tour card, it just shows that an American, no matter who it is, can compete with the best players in the world. And the players that were accused, the averages and the quality was top notch just with the players in the 128 as well, right? So it wasn't easy. And I think it shows that we can compete. And I think there's going to be more players that come next year. I think there's going to be anywhere from 4 or 5 to 8 or 9 North American players that are coming to try to get their tour card because I was able to get one. That's my opinion.
Sure. Well, we certainly hope so. And that's part of the inspiration part, to say it's not, you know, the impossible has become possible, and it should inspire players to put their money up and go. And I'm glad you brought up the other players, because that was part of what I wanted to ask you as well. You know, how I apologize, I don't recall who was in your pod, because there was different sections, one in Europe, one in the UK. You know, but how did you guys get along? Not get along, but you know what I mean? In the middle of that, knowing everybody's, you know, like you said, everybody played really well, and it was really impressive for North American darts. You know, I think you guys have earned everybody a lot of respect in the way that you conducted yourselves and the way you played. Was there any play between you guys, encouragement, you know, analysis, or was everybody focused on their own task at hand?
I think everyone has their own how they handle things, whether they win, lose, or how they use preparation for a game, whether it's the day of or day after, the very next day. There's a few of them that kind of keeps to themselves, but myself, I actually FaceTime Matt Campbell and Leonard the first couple days after the first stage of Q School, going, guys, what are we doing? You know, we're all three struggling a little bit, and we're kind of joking about it. And you know, we kind of was like, come on, you know, let's do it. Let's we sent each other a couple messages, and for me it worked. A couple bad breaks for those two, and especially Danny Lowry. Or else it could have been multiple tour card holders for North America coming from Q School. So it's great to interact with them while we were over here, and I think that's a big thing, communication and inspiration from each other.
Yeah, you definitely would think that some of the names that we saw there are, you know, are tour card holders to come. it's just a matter of time. They've come really close. And as you said, we should see those numbers doubled over time. Let's talk about for a minute your sort of compatriot here in North America. Have you, and if you haven't, that's fine too, but how much have you spoken to Jeff Smith about, the experience of being a tour card holder? This is his second go around. He's had a year already. Has he been any bit of a sort of a help and, laying out some advice or anything?
Yeah, he was unbelievable. All 3 days, all 4 days, he kind of messaged me. It was like, if you want to practice, just let me know, and so forth. And he's always been one to give me advice and reach out or answer quickly if I message him. And so, yeah, I'm gonna continue to use Jeff. I think it's gonna be a good thing for me to have him close by, because his mentality is a little stronger than mine, and he's already been here. So yeah, I'm gonna use him for the next couple of years to kind of dissect and pick his brain.
Well, that's good, and it would be foolish of you not to, and that's part of what we always talk about. That's what I was happy to hear, that yourself and Leonard and Matt would exchange messages, because everybody respects each other. Everybody knows what what you can accomplish. So why not help each other if you can? And that's what we want to foster even more and more here with the CDC. So we'll kind of close with that. Well, let's look homeward here. We talk about, as much as we don't want to lose players because we love them and they bring such ferocity to our game and our streams, there's no point in building this if we don't have players, progress and make room for the players coming through. Now, of course, we do hope to, have you back and still in the mix with the championship dart circuit as much as possible, especially that we're looking to open up in Florida. I mean, how do we have a Florida weekend without Danny Baggish? You may or may not have seen, we've had to push that back to July. So we're going to then look at July to keep things focused. And, and if people can find that at champdarts.com, what we have, we were looking to open up earlier. So, give me your take on playing PDC, but also still playing here at home.
Yeah, obviously, I'm gonna PDC is gonna be my priority. But there's a break to where I could come home and play the CDC and still come back. This COVID stuff is making everything so tough on everything. So once that clears up and we're able to travel again, it'll be a lot easier. But yeah, I'm excited to play the PDC, go back and play the CDC, and continue to support, because everyone needs to know that the CDC and is where it's at, and that's I think that's how I got to where I'm at today. So.
Well, we appreciate that. We're very proud of, a little minuscule part of helping you, tackle Q school. And that's what we want to accomplish. And I have to admit, yeah, I sometimes ask these questions and I forget how restrictive things are in terms of, how much time you need to put in to quarantine, to go there, come back, all of that stuff, but of course, it's going to be exciting when you get a chance to walk back into a CDC room. I would imagine a great applause. And just as I talked about, we want you and the people behind you to inspire everybody, so we can just build the game here. And, not that you're not going to earn a world championship spot on your own, but there is always one dangling, on the CDC circuit. So let's bring it on home. I do appreciate your time. I know you've been really busy and a lot of interviews, and you've got, prep coming up for the weekend. I'm going to just turn the floor over to you a little bit. I like to do this because you've got such a good fan base. Talk to your fans a little bit, your fans specifically here in North America. Thank them and lay out for us what we, hope to see from Danny Baggish soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everyone back home in the U.S. And Canada as well. But thank you to everyone, all the messages, all the positivity, all the inspiration. There's been a few times where I felt down, and I would read a few of your messages, and it kind of was like an eye-opening thing, like just keep grinding, you belong here, and so forth. So thank you to everyone back at home. Thank you to all the fans everywhere across the world. CDC, thank you guys. Even though it's you say it's just a little thing that you guys contributed to me being where I am today. Every little thing matters. So I appreciate that. My family back at home, Lindsay, Kay, Chris, watching the kids, holding down the fort over there. Just really everyone. If it's okay, I'd like to thank my sponsors as well.
Please. I had that as a note, tied to your managing company. So please, everybody that you need to thank, give them a moment, please.
Yeah, Florida Commercial Care, 8 Flight, Target, Dart Brokers, TCL Management, Club 401, even Defiance Family. Just from day one, believing in me and me being able to live a dream again and over and over and over. I thank you all, and it's just appreciative. And I promise to everyone out there that there's 2 years and I can compete, and I'm going to win a PDC title.
You heard it here first, folks. Danny Baggish is going to win a PDC title, and it may very well be this weekend. So don't blink, because Baggish is hitting the UK Open. And you could follow all his matches on Dart Connect. Sign up for those fan alerts, because we saw that Danny Baggish going into this past weekend was maybe 3rd or 4th on the planet on Dart Connect notifications, some fan alerts. So that had to make you feel good.
I mean, the list of players that I was above, I know it's just a fan alert, but all that matters. All of it matters. And to be 4th or 5th on that list is something I'll never forget. And let's just continue to build that, and let's try to get to number 1 soon.
It really does matter. It does matter. I want to, say this to the fans out there. It matters. Your active participation in things matters. It matters to companies to see that, a player like Danny and Jeff Smith and the CDC has a fan base, has a following. That's where they want to put their money. So that stuff counts. And Danny, thank you for mentioning us a little bit in there in recognition. And that's, we want to build the platform to inspire the younger players who are haven't played CDC yet to be practicing in their room and have photos of Danny Baggish and Jeff Smith and John Part and Darren Young, those players that they've seen on PDC stages. We want to inspire them, and the place to start is the Championship Dart Circuit. So I really, really want to say thank you, Danny, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. We wish you tons of success in the UK Open coming up, and obviously tons of success in 2021. We're all going to be watching, and we want to thank you folks out there for watching. Again, my name's Anthony Eugenia. Have a good day.